next question comes from Jake, who is... My face is in this camera. Hi. The next question comes from Jake, who is, for the month, he's my life coach.
Yeah?
My breathwork coach.
It's pretty cool.
It's a rad dude.
Mm-hmm.
He said, was there a mental struggle for you shifting to the stay-at-home dad? And then he said, and shitty sweaters. The shitty sweaters is an analogy for sweaters of shame. And the way it works is anytime you have shame or some like negative voice, that is represented as a sweater, and you put on that sweater. The more shame you have, the more sweaters you have, and then you get to a point where you can't move your arms like the kid from A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And yes, there was a mental struggle. We talked about Alexis and I, and when we met, she was at her job, and then she started making more money. And we were both working for a period, and then it got to a point where it didn't make sense for me to keep working.
Mm-hmm.
I was working weekends. I had struggles if one of the kids were ill, and I needed to call into work.
Yeah, and we met at that restaurant.
We met at that restaurant. There were
some trust issues there.
There were some trust issues. It was just a trigger zone.
Yeah, it was a trigger zone.
And so
We've grown past it,
yeah.
But it was there and it was real at the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we've called it a surprise quitting of the job.
We're talking about Patitude.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that wasn't a surprise quitting.
Yeah.
It kind of was.
Okay, so Rise was a surprise.
Yeah, Rise was the real surprise.
Patitude was, hey, let's have a slight disagreement about this for a day or two. And then going into the weekend, we came out of the argument, but I was like, hey, I think I should just quit. You're like, I don't know. And then I looked at you, I think, and I was like, I'm just quitting. And at that point, like, you had no resistance at all. You're like, okay.
Yeah, it was small.
We were ready for the next
we were
chapter.
Jolted into the next phase.
Yeah. And so mental struggle. I share this, and I've been like kind of like the core of like who I am and what I want to do as a creator kind of stems from this period of my life. And it's hard to say to you because it was so exciting and amazing to be with you in a relationship, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me being with you. Mm-hmm. But when I quit that job, I got into a very dark place.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, or if you know someone and they're thinking about ending their life, like, I thought about that all the time. I was like, why? There's no good that comes from me being around. There was a lot of purpose in my life, or perceived purpose, because I was going to a job and making money. And I thought that was taken away from me.
And you were isolated too, just being home. You're like a social person.
Yeah, and we all are. If we're not social, you what's the point? Like, we're like an ant colony. And think about what happens to the ant that walks real far out on its own and gets squashed, right?
You're very extroverted. So versus an introvert, like, you thrive on that human interaction.
Yeah, I think I'm introverted though. I think I recharge time alone, but too much of it can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, you went out with your friends Friday, and then I decided not to go at some point, and I just like had a moment where I lied on the bed. And I'm here by myself in the house a lot, but like I feel like I have to work and do things, and there's places I've got to go. But to just like lie there and to breathe in the silence, I was like, I think I need that more often. Mm-hmm. To like have nothing on me and just to breathe alone, and then I feel rejuvenated from that.
So you were feeling this was a bunch of different things during this time when you were at home.
Yeah, so
not working.
So right, I got to I just thought about it every single day. I'm like, what does it look like if I'm not here? I thought of like how and where to do it, and I know that's not right. I know I didn't want to do that, and a part of me feels ashamed that I thought that, and that's like a sweater coming on.
Rip that sweater off.
It sucks because you feel so bad and then you're beating yourself up for having those thoughts. It's just this endless shit cycle.
Someone needs therapy. Kidding. Not really.
But It was amazing. Like, you and I still have an amazing sex life, but dear God, we were having so much sex then. I thought my dick was gonna fall off, and like, I'm just my attraction to you has completely
Parental advisory.
my attraction to you has done nothing but grow exponentially since the beginning.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
I have an amazing, attractive partner. I have a new daughter, and I have a new perspective for like femininity and like a new purpose out in the world, but I didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
The title was taken away, the title of server. I was doing stand-up comedy, and I was stopping doing that because of things in my life. And all of that went away. It was a huge change.
Yeah.
It's like, even if it's changed for the good, sometimes, not sometimes, even if it's changed for good, change brings a lot of stress,
Yeah.
even if it's changed for the good. And
Yeah.
looking back on it, zooming out, and I say the thing about ending your life because I listened to people like Gary Vee, Matt Diva, I had all this perspective, but hearing other people talking about like these struggles and like me learning a new skill with camera and video, like I eventually got to this other place in my life. And I can look back on that period of my life, the darkest period of my life, like the period of my life where if I drive past that house, I still feel sick to my stomach thinking about how much I started to hate myself when I was living in that home.
Wow.
I'm to this point now where like I know that was actually the best thing that could have happened to me. So thank you for changing my life. Do you want to add
So
anything?
sweet. No,
Nice.
no, this is definitely a question for you. And maybe it can help. I don't know how much of that is tied into like you're feeling like you're feeling that you need to provide as a man or something, so and if other men, have gone home and, are taking care of children or whatever, maybe your story can help them.
Yeah.
I mean, because who knows, life's hard.
Yeah.
And so I don't really have a lot to say besides like, it's hard to hear you tell that story or just talk about that time,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that,
Yeah, I
we're
know it
out
makes
of
you
it.
feel bad too, and I don't even want to say that to you.
No,
ever.
it's just, it's just because I care about you.
Yeah,
So
I know.
it's good that, struggle makes you stronger. It's like going to the gym. You have to have resistance
Yeah,
to strengthen whatever character you
Yeah.
think you have.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it never grows.
yeah, and the gym is a good analogy, and I think about compound interest too. Even though I don't make enough money to really, I kind of like wasting my time learning about money. It's like figure out how to make the money first, and then learn about the money.
No, I don't know if that's true.
No, we
You
have
can learn
talks
the other
about
way.
it, which is a good segue into our next thing. But with money and compound interest, right? You put money into savings now, and if it's a compound interest effect, like that grows exponentially over time, right? More so than just having it sit there, and that's what it's like. That's what it was like for me. I didn't realize that was happening. I was like, I had a fascination, and I wanted and had a desire to learn a new skill. And looking back, I slowly built up on that, and I still am. But
Hey friends, and thank you for watching this video clip. Thank you for being here at the end. If you like what you're hearing and you want to listen to the full episode, there is a link down in the description. There's also a link to the audio version if you would like to listen to this on the go, at the gym, whatever you do. Thank you so much for being here. If you think that what we're sharing in our vulnerability could help somebody that you know, maybe consider sharing this clip or tell them about our podcast. That would help us out a ton. And this year, what we're doing is we're releasing one episode a month on the last Monday of every month. Next month, our show is going to go over how to fight. We're going to call the episode, I think we're going to call it Chill the Fuck Out, and it's like a couple's guide, and it's like our rules of how we would like to ideally fight. If you have any questions about this, please hit us up in the comments, email us. There's a link to the email in the description of the show notes, and I'm also going to put my personal Instagram down below. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you for being here. You're wonderful, and see you soon.